Hello Gotchi gang, my name is Seb and welcome to a video covering Aavegotchi GBM Auctions. This is where you get outbid and you win. You win the auction and you win. So this is a win-win. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. You're expected to do your own research, make your own decisions and invest accordingly. This content is educational. If you don't have any idea what Aavegotchi is, click the link and go and watch that video first and then come back to this video. Crypto WTF of the day. So let's quickly learn a word to start off with, RPC. This is an acronym and stands for Remote Procedure Call. These are used in your wallets and are a communication road from the wallet to the blockchain. When they get overloaded, they can go slow or fail. It is good to have multiple RPCs. So as an example, if you're using your Wi-Fi and it was all really fast and all of a sudden you had a party at your house and 50 people are on your Wi-Fi, you wouldn't be able to stream Netflix, etc. That's kind of like what happens with an RPC. So I suggest having a couple of good ones and I'll show you how to set up a dedicated one. Another crypto WTF of the day, GBM. This is an acronym and stands for, and I'm not going to pronounce or try to pronounce these names. Basically, these are the founders of the GBM Auction model. So the GBM Auction model is a model which is being used with the Aavegotchi auctions, and it's when you are outbid, you're rewarded with your bid plus extra back to your wallet. And I think this will be used extensively in NFTs in 12 months. It's just important to understand things like this so you're not left wondering, what does it mean? Have I missed something? In this particular case, it's just the name of the co-founders. Now, I'm sorry, but I've been completely away actually for a little while with the DGen apes. It's been a crazy adventure over there. So I will not be editing this video at all. I won't be taking out my arms, so I apologize. Basically, in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, I covered basically what I thought the price of some of these portals would go for. And this was before all this crazy NFT hype. Like, that was properly crazy. So I went on the lower side deliberately. At first I went on the low side. First I went on a kind of medium side, then I spoke to a friend and kind of thought, okay, it's probably safer to go a little bit lower and just see what happens. So maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking most portals should go for around $400 to $800 US. Now I've kind of revised that. People have completely different views. It's all a guesstimate. The market will decide in the end, but it's just preparing yourself with the information on what could happen. These are my revised prices. So how much will these portals cost? Some people think they will be the floor price of the current Haunt 1 Gotchis, which is 850 Ghost. Others like me think they will be less. The reality is what's going to happen is once people have actually got their portals, open them, many will list the Gotchis or portals at a loss if they don't have a rare Gotchi. So you may want to bid a little bit in the GBM auctions at first, but if you don't have a lot of ghosts or if you don't want to overcommit yourself, which is certainly a safe thing to do, if you are outbid, you get a little bit as a reward, which is fantastic. And that reward plus your ghost can go for the secondary sales. So that way you may be able to, in the secondary markets, as soon as there's a flood of Gotchis hidden there, the floor price will drop. And as soon as that floor price drops, that's when you may want to go and nab. You would have done your research on what kind of Gotchi you're after and go from there. So what is my plan? My plan is to make more Ghost, essentially. So I will start bidding once it is live. I will go live for this, like live stream, for the 10 or so of you that will be watching. And when this will happen, August 26th, 2 p.m. UTC time. So set your reminders. Remember, this goes for 3 days, at least 3 days. If there are any bids that are put in on the auctions in the last 5 minutes or so, it continues a little bit longer. I will have at least 15 Matic for gas. That's about $30 US or so, probably not quite that much at the moment, but at least 15 Matic. And I'll use a high gas setting of 200 or more for fast transactions. And I'll also use an Infura RPC. I'll show you where you can go to get a free RPC by Infura. Infura, in my opinion, is the best RPC provider. I will likely start bids at 150 Ghost. I do expect to be outbid within 1 hour with a refund, a little bit extra, which will be good. Also, please note, bots will be doing this too, as well as hundreds, if not thousands of other Gotchi gang people at the same time, all with this kind of information. It will be pretty intense, so be aware that this could be a time to make a couple of $100 easily, but it may also be a time when everyone's trying to do it and you might not walk away with very much. I will then bid up to 220 in Ghost on portals, and I expect to be outbid. On the final day, I will hunt, like everyone else, for bargains. So on that final day, we'll be able to see where some people have been a little bit silly maybe, and maybe they put on like a 2,000 ghost bid on a portal that has no significance in terms of number or anything. And then there'll be other portals that may be around 300 ghost. And that's where we'll start to look at them and go, okay, well, which ones should we be focusing on? And just note that some portals with rare numbers will go crazy, like a portal with a number 666, 888, 8888, 1, 1234, etc. So if you do see one of those and you manage to get a bid in, you may want to put in a larger bid, up to you of course, because it's likely you're going to be outbid. Now it's important to show you at this point in time that I did participate in the GBM auctions of July, I believe, where there was mugs and whatnot, but I did not follow what I should have followed, and that is having a plan, knowing what the prices should be. Basically, I just got excited, and as you can see, I used 2 different accounts. This is one of them, and my total payout was 37 ghosts, which was tiny. And the reason for that was because I was putting on these crazy bids of like 15, 50 on mugs. I ended up with over 150 mugs, so I'm probably the world's biggest mug collector. I think I spent over 5,000 ghosts on mugs. After this had concluded, basically the floor price in the marketplace for a mug was about 9 ghost. Now it has increased, so that's a good thing. So maybe it works out for me in the end. But just be aware that do not just ape into these sort of things. Have a plan, stick to the plan. That's just the safest bet. So there were a couple of people that had bid like 1,000 on something silly, but you can see, I've bid a 44 there. I think my highest was 150 or something. I bid 233 on this game controller. 466 on goggles. So you just need to be aware to not be silly. I've still got 1 left to claim. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, let's get into the Infura RPC. So I'll link this below, but basically you come to infura.io, you'll sign up, and then what you can do is you can actually add a free RPC, this one here. You'll create a free account, and then you'll add on the Polygon network. Now there's a certain amount of calls, basically requests you can kind of make per day, and when you go over that, you'll have to pay if you want to. So it should be sufficient for most people to use one of these RPCs and not need to pay. If you happen to run out of your calls, I'll also link this below. This is a list of all the Matic mainnet RPCs that are commonly used. So these are pretty good. Sometimes they get too much traffic and it doesn't work as well. There's also, as it says down here, there's also QuickNode is one where you can get a dedicated paid one. I've used them before. Unfortunately, I didn't have a great experience at all, but your mileage may vary. It's certainly, potentially worth trying them as well. They do a free trial. What's going to happen is when you create your RPC, you'll log in, then you'll go into your MetaMask. And then where do we go? Click on this little button here, settings, scroll on down, go to networks, and go to Matic mainnet, and then you paste your RPC into the new RPC URL. I'm not going to show you what this one is, of course, but you paste it in there, scroll on down, and you hit save. And it's a good idea to have this saved somewhere so that you can easily access it. Same with having this open in case you need to quickly copy it and put it in yourself. All right, quickly onto the GBM auction. So you already know what happens with it. Basically, when you're outbid, you get a little bit of a reward back, which is fantastic. If you like to kind of dive into these things, I'll link this below. However, it's not necessary to know this, but basically, I think it's a fantastic way of doing a bidding auction. Just be aware that you receive incentives of up to 10% of your bid when you're outbid. It's up to 10%. It It all depends on what the next person bids, and sometimes it will be lower than that. If you also need a little bit more simple information of how the GBM auction works, you can come to gbm.auction. I'll link this below as well. Watch the video if you need a little bit of understanding. And if you haven't read the Medium post on Aavegotchi, just come through and read this as well. So this is so far only concerning what's going to happen with the portal drop. They haven't released any information regarding the wearables, although obviously there'll be 36 wearables out, but they just haven't given us the hard information yet. So what's going to happen when we're ready to go is, as I said, in my wallet, I'm probably going to have about 15 Matic at least. And because each transaction that I'm going to be sending is probably going to cost me about 10 to 20 cents in Matic. It's going to be about 0.1 to 0. About 0.05 to 0.0, about 0.1 Matic. We'll agree on that, about that much. So it's going to be quite expensive. You don't have to go that expensive, but that's just what I'm going to do. Normally you can see this at Polygon gas station, but the website's not loading for me at the moment. So if I can find another link, I will link it below. Before you kind of start, what you can do is you can go into your settings here, and then click on the settings icon up here, and you can actually change your default gas price. So right now it says the safe low is 300 and the fast is 4,760. I think this might be off, hopefully, but what's probably going to happen at the time is I'm going to be using maybe 250 or 300. It all depends on how many people are on. If all of a sudden there are quite a few people on, you can make $15 by getting outbid. So if you're going to spend $1 on gas, it might be worth it for you. So we'll have to see what happens at the time, and that's when I'll be covering it on my live stream. So set it here, and then as soon as we go back into auction and we click on open auctions, which is none there, we can put in our bid, and that will automatically populate through to the MetaMask, and that will be brilliant. As I mentioned before, after 3 days, everyone will go ahead and open their gotchis, and a lot will be listed on the marketplace. That's when you want to be kind of hunting for little deals and work it out from there. Well, look, thanks very much for watching. If you had any value, if you found any value in this, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm sorry this is a bit rushed, but it's been a very, very busy few weeks, and I'll make sure that I'm all ready for the live stream when it happens. Cheers for watching. Thanks. Bye.